Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Preetha with 5 Minutes of Authenticity, a little space in this worldwide web of information and knowledge and all kinds of stuff, where I spend a little bit of time sharing with you thoughts on topics that I work with or I am inspired by when talking to my clients. I am an authenticity life coach, and this is September where we are discussing change and various aspects of it. Today, let's just talk about how awkward change is. And it is something we all know. It is something that we expect, and yet the reality is that we aren't very comfortable with the awkwardness. Now, think about the first time you started something new, whether you were starting school, learning the alphabet, learning an instrument, getting to know the ropes in a job, fumbling in a new relationship, becoming a first-time parent, losing a parent. Every time change has occurred in your life in a positive or a negative manner, there has been a shift. There has been a shift from what you were used to what you are now learning to get used to, right? So every time change occurs, there is a dissonance or a pull between what used to be and what is going to be that you're not ready for yet. So the discomfort and hesitation that are an absolute given with any kind of change, even with positive change. Even when you say you got a promotion at a job, you have a new baby, or you have the dream job that you're looking for, or you have a new home, there is still some discomfort. Learning the ropes, like I said, on that job, or learning to take care of a newborn life. As joyful as it is not easy. When you have a new home or you have moved to a new city, there is joy. You've probably willed it and you wanted it, you've manifested it. But when it happens, there is still a little bit of awkwardness. Now, it is important to know that awkwardness is the price of growth. It is that emotional stretch mark of transformation. So it is almost like that friction that happens when your old self, who you have been used to and you're in your comfort zones, and your emerging self that is inevitable, are both present in the same instant and tugging in different directions. So that is when the awkwardness comes in with change. And it is important to acknowledge that since you're feeling the awkwardness, you're actually growing. It is not a reflection of your failure. It is not the reflection of an inability. It is definitely a huge marker in your growth process. I have to share something that happened yesterday. I'm in an editorial team for a magazine that we publish as the Bengali Cultural Association in Utah. And there are a lot of very interesting articles that there's a little team, a bunch of us, we edit. I happen to be editing an article of a young man who pursues soccer with passion. And he is very good at it. He has played in competitive leagues. He has played for clubs. He has played both in the United States and in Europe and is invited to play in various cities. So he was describing his journey, his passion for it. He was so authentic the way he wrote about it. But what struck me the most, what I was fascinated and in awe of, was the fact that he was in a game in Gothenburg in Sweden, and he had a penalty shot and he didn't make it. And he talked about that. He talked about how the soccer ball hit the goal post, and he didn't want to face his team. He didn't want to talk to his friends because he felt he had let the team down. But what is interesting in the essay is the way he talks about it and continues on and says, you know what, there is always a next time. Now, from a young 14, 15-year-old boy, young man, to expect this kind of maturity is what I love about this generation of kids. Is no matter what we say about them, they are so non-judgmental, not only about others, it's because they're so non-judgmental about themselves. So there's always, you hear about how you become image conscious and social media drowns you and all kinds of stuff. But I also feel there are these nuggets of wisdom we can take from them. This young man talked about his growth and his change and looked upon that moment of failure as a stepping stone into something bigger and better in the future. It's not like he has won every match, and that's not possible. But as a team, as an individual, as a player, as a student, as a child of wonderful parents, he has used this opportunity of awkwardness, has used this opportunity of dissonance to grow from it, and is looking forward to his next game. So how many of us are able to do that? How many of us miss the penalty shot? How many of us are able to take that moment and accept that awkwardness? So this is where you get a couple of interesting data points from neuroscience. Neuroscience shows that whenever there is uncertainty, which is a given with any kind of a change system, it activates the amygdala, right? Your fight or flight response. And that is where it rewires the brain and it causes us to feel that awkwardness, that sense of, I'm not sure where I am. What do I need to go next? That feeling of anxiety, sometimes it could be any kind of a feeling of dissonance, essentially. So that's a part of this process. The other part where we can, what my young friend has done in so beautifully and so lucidly in his essay, reflecting what he did, is very, very much in line with the psychologist Carol Dweck, whose mindset theory talks about embracing discomfort. There are two kinds of mindsets. There is the fixed and the growth. Now, had my soccer playing friend said, I have failed, I will never be able to face my team again, I went all the way to Sweden and it did not work out, all of the things went wrong, that is a fixed mindset, because he would be limiting himself by that one outcome. Instead, what he chose to do after, feeling whatever he was feeling is his coach and his friends, they all bonded together and they said, you know what, there is next time. What did we learn from this process? So a growth mindset is always forward thinking. It is always looking to ways in which we can be resilient, where we can almost suppress that fight or flight response of the amygdala and make a rational, reasonable conclusion of a situation and say, okay, I am a new mom. I am a new parent. I know my days are going to be long. I'm going to handle this. I'm going to find the resources I need. And whenever I get a minute, I'm going to take a little break, get a breather, do something from my previous self that I enjoyed. So personally for me, when I became a new mom 13 years ago, one of the things that I missed was just going to the coffee shop randomly. So one of the things, and thanks to my husband, I was able to do is every morning, because I was used to working for 15 plus years, I would get dressed up in, semi-formals, not staying in a sweatshirt and t-shirt, and I would get out of the house. I would get out of the house for a little bit before my husband left for work, and I would come back recharged, refreshed, and there was a little bit of my previous self still dwelling in my body, so where I had not given it all up. And over time, obviously, my daughter and I now frequent coffee shops all the time, but that immediate moment of awkwardness was helped when I made that effort. And I remember a colleague of mine telling me that, Preetha, make sure you get ready in the morning. Don't stay like a slob. It'll help your day go better. And I cannot thank her enough. So those are some things we can do where when we face this dissonance is to find ways to be present. Because you see, friends, authenticity isn't about being perfect. I have always, and I will always continue to say this, it is about being present. It's about progress, not perfection. If you are moving from point A to point B, it's not about how quickly you get there, but how consistently you get there, right? So it is not about being polished, it's about being present. And the most honest version of you at that point in time, as a new mom, I remember, might be the one fumbling through a new chapter. The most honest version of my young friend, my soccer playing friend, was when he missed that shot, but he could come out of it. So what is most inspiring about his story is the fact that he allowed himself to be seen in the awkwardness and gave himself the permission to feel what he felt, and then gave himself the permission of saying, you know what, there is a tomorrow, there is learning, there is growth, and let's see where this takes us. So change is awkward, friends, and that is okay. What is real in all of this is the fact that you are traveling your path, you're traveling your course, and you are doing it in a way that is taking you from a place of, taking you to a place of growth. And that is what it's all about. Change is growth, good or bad. It's always growth. Until next time, this is Preetha, and you are welcome to subscribe to this. If you enjoyed this episode, do come back and listen again. This is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And signing off for now. We will continue with a couple more episodes in September on change. And till then, stay well, stay authentic. Thank you.